You know, you'd think the best lessons on how to tell a good story would come from some fancy modern book, right? Well, what if I told you one of the absolute best is hiding in a chaotic kitchen argument written down almost 700 years ago? Today, we are cracking open Giovanni Boccaccio's Decameron, and we're going to uncover a hilarious and honestly a surprisingly modern secret about what makes a story so incredibly powerful.
Leave me to tell the story. That fiery line right there, that's our way in. It's shouted by a servant named Elissa, so forget a polite introduction. We are walking straight into the middle of a fight. But a fight about what? And, more importantly, why is she so insistent that she be the one to tell the story?
So, to really get what's happening, you gotta picture this. We have this group of very refined, very proper young nobles, and they're all gathered in this beautiful garden. They're about to start a sophisticated session of storytelling. Everything is calm, it's elegant, it's very orderly, well, until it's not. All of a sudden, that peace is just shattered. From the servants' quarters, this loud, really passionate argument just erupts, and it completely throws off the nobles' whole afternoon. Now, the queen of the day, she's in charge, and let's just say she is not amused. She calls her head servant over and pretty much demands to know what on earth is going on. And this is where we meet our contenders. The two people making all the noise are dragged out in front of the queen and her whole crew. On one side, we've got Elissa Elissa, a servant who, well, she's not afraid to speak her mind. On the other side is Tindaro, her colleague, who seems to have picked a fight he just can't win. And sitting there in judgment is the queen, whose patience is clearly running out.
Okay, hang on. Before we get to the juicy details of the fight, we need to zoom out a bit. It's really important to know where we are and why this interruption actually matters so much. So let's get the bigger picture.
This whole scene is taking place inside the Decameron. So a group of 10 young nobles, they call themselves the brigata, they've escaped the plague in Florence, and to pass the time, they tell each other stories. Every single day has a different theme, and the theme for day 6 is really interesting.
The theme is this Italian concept called a motto. Now, a motto isn't just any old comeback. No, it's the perfect verbal jab, that one clever remark, that brilliant little speech that you deliver at the exact right time to get yourself out of trouble or to just completely win an argument. It is the art of being quick on your feet with words.
So, to put it simply, these nobles are spending the entire day telling stories about people who use their quick wit and a sharp tongue to dodge some kind of disaster or loss. They're literally celebrating the power of language. And, as it turns out, they are about to get a live, completely unscheduled performance.
Okay, back to the kitchen drama. The queen demands to know what in the world Lascana and Tindaro are arguing about so passionately. And the topic is, well, it's not exactly polite conversation.
Yep, you heard that right. They are having a full-blown shouting match debate right there in front of the queen about whether or not a friend's new bride was actually a virgin on her wedding night. And they have two very, very different takes on what went down.
And here's where you see the total clash of worldviews. Tindara's coming from this place of pure, naive idealism. He's claiming the groom had to take her by force, because he thinks young women are just these simple creatures who patiently wait around for marriage. Laskisha, on the other hand, she comes armed with real-world experience. She just scoffs at him, saying the groom got a hearty welcome, and that, you know what, girls absolutely do not let good opportunities just slip by.
And this line from Elissa just perfectly nails her whole argument. She's not just disagreeing with Tindaro. She is totally dismissing his entire worldview as hopelessly childish. She's basically saying, listen, kid, I've seen the world. You have no clue what you're talking about. In that one line, she positions herself as the expert, the one who can tell the real story.
So how does this refined, high society audience react to this very bawdy, very lowbrow argument? They absolutely love it. Boccaccio writes that the ladies were laughing so hard they could barely even breathe. This raw, unfiltered, chaotic argument is way more entertaining than any of the formal stories they were planning on telling.
So, the performance has been delivered. The arguments have been made. Now, all that's left is for someone to make a call. The queen, totally amused by this whole thing, turns to the group's resident jokester and smart aleck, a guy named Dionio, and asks him to settle it once and for all.
This is it, the moment of truth. Was it Tindaro, with his idealistic view of the world, or was it Laskisha, with her earthy, no-nonsense realism? After all of that noise, who actually wins the argument?
And Dionio doesn't even hesitate. Without missing a beat, he just delivers the final judgment. Lyskisha is in the right, he declares, and Tindaro is a fool. Boom. It's a swift, decisive, and absolutely hilarious end to the whole debate. Lyskisha is the victor, having proved her point with nothing more than the power of her words. So here's the really crucial question. Why did Boccaccio even write this scene? It just seems like this random, messy interruption. But it is not. In fact, this little fight in the kitchen is one of the most brilliant moments in the entire book. It is Boccaccio's own masterclass on the art of storytelling. Because that fight wasn't just a fight, it was a live-action demonstration of the day's theme, quick wit, that motto. Liska doesn't just argue a point, she performs it. She uses her experience, her wit, her sharp tongue to build a narrative that is way more persuasive and, frankly, way more entertaining than Tindaro's. She proves that a good story always wins. And that's the secret Boccaccio is hiding in plain sight. He's showing us that real eloquence, that powerful storytelling, it isn't just for polished nobles in a pretty garden. It can be found in a messy, hilarious argument in a kitchen. The ability to persuade, to entertain, and to shape reality with words, that's a fundamental human skill. It belongs to everyone.
So it leaves you with this amazing thought, right? Liska fought to tell her story because she knew her version was more powerful. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you have a point you need to make or an idea you want to share, how are you going to tell your story? What kind of power are you ready to unleash?